Morning folks, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is. Today's one couldn't be simpler. Flour tortillas. It is very simple, very straightforward and goddamn delicious. It does take a little bit of time to make a tortilla as well, so obviously balance it out between buying them and making your own. But I keep these for like special dinners and whatnot, so kidney bean corn stacks, gorgeous. Homemade burrito rolls, gorgeous. If it's just a wee lunchtime wrap, I tend to use a packet one. It's quicker, it's easier, it's faster. Go with what works for you. So anyway, let's crack on. So just before we get started measuring out our ingredients, this recipe makes either 8 medium-sized tortillas or 6 quite large tortillas. So the very first thing we're looking to do is measure out either 2 cups or 280 grams of plain flour. Put that straight in your mixing bowl. And to that you're just going to add half a teaspoon of salt. Straight into the mixture you're just going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil or 45 millilitres, whichever way suits you to think about it. I like tablespoons, they're a very simple, easy measure, and I've got nice measuring ones, hence I use them. And our last ingredient is 3/4 of a cup of water or 185 millilitres, again whichever way suits you to measure it out or easiest way for you to think about it. And that's all our ingredients, that's how simple it is to put them together. So either by hand you're going to mix this about a dozen times or for about 2 minutes in your stand mixer, whichever way you prefer doing it. Again, I've got the stand mixer so I'm going to use it, but it's just as easy to bring this together by hand. Basically we're looking for it just to come together as a dough. It is going to be a very sticky dough, so we're going to have to deal with that, but it's just mix it together until it's just together. We're not looking to really work the gluten here. I can't emphasise this next bit enough. Oil your hands. I like using a spray oil because you don't then pour too much out of a bottle, but this is a very tacky sticky dough, so oil your hands before we start working it. And then all we're going to do is scoop it out into the rough amounts we need, whether that be 6 balls or 8 balls. 60 to 62 grams if we're doing 8 balls, and for 6 balls are roughly 80 to 84 grams. And when it comes to shaping them, flour-coated silicone baking tray liners are the bee's knees. Liberally sprinkle it with some flour, and then we're going to put our ball on top of it. Then sprinkle your dough ball with more flour and take a second silicone mat and put that on top of your actual dough ball that you have there. And then we take something heavy like a chopping board or a really thick heavy book and press down so we get the nice circular shape that you see. Peel back your silicone and then roll with a rolling pin till you get a really paper thin, real thin tortilla ready for cooking. When you pick it up, it should be able to see through it like the window pane method. Hot pan, as hot as you can make it. You pick up your tortilla, be very careful how you pick it up so you don't rip it. This is fragile and this is the most delicate part of it. We're going to put it in the pan and we're going to cook it for about 1 minute each side. We're looking for it to bubble up, and once it's bubbling up nicely we're going to gently flip it over and cook the other side also for about 1 minute. When it comes to flipping it over, again be very gentle, and if you're again using a non-stick pan like I recommended, make sure you're using non-metal tools so you can get under and flip it over. I find a fish slice works perfect for this. And whilst your first tortilla is cooking off, just rinse and repeat. It's very easy, you've got more than enough time to prepare each tortilla before the next one goes in to cook. So again, it's just whack it on the silicone mat, cover it with flour, silicone mat on, press down and roll out. Rinse and repeat till you're done. You can then either serve straight away whilst they're hot or just stack them on a wire rack and let them cool and use them later. Whichever one suits you best. If using later, it's often nice if you're going to be using them is just to give them a wee quick 30 seconds heat in the microwave. They fold over, they stick better, it's just a nicer way of doing it, unless it's something that's going to be oven cooked. So that was dead easy. As you see, there's really nothing to making flour tortillas. It's the simplest of simplest recipes that you get through quite quickly, but they taste absolutely gorgeous. I mentioned earlier that I'm making these for my corn stacks. If you want me to make that video, let me know and I'll crack on and make that video as well at some point. Take care, folks.